It's crummy beats, y'all.
Hey, this is Big Gene from Raw Deal, The Last Big Night. I'm here to thank you for watching all 3 installments and all the things that came over the internet on the Wisdom Clear and MREC. Want to give a big shout out to Handle. We are here to answer the 21 questions that came over the internet that the producers and MREC and them got together for me to answer. I'm going to also be doing a question and answer Q&A for MREC, for him, sticking his neck out, putting his thing out on his channel. And I told him I give him 10 different stories, whether it's artists, athletes, some personal things that he feel like that people want to know about, that showed, the things I've done out here in the community, out in the streets. So I'm gonna get all those questions, and whenever MREC get ready for me to do that little thing for him, that interview for him, I got him. I really appreciate him, looking out, putting this together for me. I wanna say to the people who really investigated this whole case, and they talk to people, they talk to a friend and talk to another friend, and the people who know me and know the authenticity that I am as a gentleman, as a man. And I want you to understand it wasn't easy for me, based on who I am as a person, what I've done out here in the community and for people, to come here and give the last big night. I wish you would have seen the whole documentary, because my life is far bigger than what you saw. The things I've done for a lot of different individuals in the community and things like that, and in the rap spectrum and the music world. And you would have had a chance and an opportunity to see that if the whole documentary would have dropped. And like I said, I just gave you guys the last week of the trip in Cali, from the Soul Train Awards and when Big died. I want to touch on a few things. One, before I start this Q&A thing, is that I want you to understand that, this just ain't start 20 years later for me. You understand? I was investigated and I was brought in by the FBI. I showed you that information. Phil Carson from the FBI, who investigated me, also with the LAPD, you know what I'm saying? And other investigators, whether it's private investigators or whatever. I give you and anybody else, like I tell you, I can't look a man at him and lie to him. I'm not that dude like that. I'm gonna tell you the truth and let the truth fall where it's at. I'm not gonna, sit here and be less than a man and say I know something when I didn't know it. I'm gonna tell you what I know, if that's the part of the comment. If I don't know, I'm gonna tell you I don't know it. You understand? When I'm answering these questions, if it's something that I didn't go through these questions and pick out, say this is fine, that's fine. No, whatever question they gave for me, I said we're gonna do the 21 question thing. I'm gonna give you my honest opinion on it. You understand? You're not gonna hear me make up shit when I'm not there. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy what I see all over the internet. People giving their opinions about shit, and when were they there? Who told them? Tell them who, when somebody's saying some shit, who told you that? Where you get that from? Because, you got these guys just picking up shit, to get the views and to, like these kids tell me, that's the new hustle, monetizing your site so these people can send you a check and all like that. You know what I'm saying? So listen here. I've been doing this for a long time, man. I've had to deal with, and I got the paperwork to prove it. I had a deal with Simon and Schuster. You understand? A book deal. You understand? I had 2 documentary deals, you know what I'm saying? And it got shut down, you know, and I told you about that. But it is what it is, and I'm here, it's done, and I'm gonna get to these questions. And you know, when you go to these guys' sites and you wanna, you know, figure out, you know, who they don't have nobody that's been there or nobody that's, you know, personal experience. They not getting it from the guys that's personally been involved in that. Watch what you listen to, man. You understand? Because, you know, everybody got to pay the piper one day, man. You understand? If I tell you something, if I say something, I got personal experience with this shit. I've been there, I've done that, I did that. You understand? You know, I'm not getting this from nobody. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I was told this, my friend told me that. Nah, Anything I tell you from this point and from any point in my life, it's gonna be from personal experience. And I got a lot of shit, and guys know that. You understand? I've dealt with a lot of people that I can't say nothing right now. You understand? But down the line, you'll be hearing from me. Let's go, man.
Jerome on Facebook wants to know, was the Muslim guy in the bow tie that came up to Puffy's car the driver/shooter? Also, was Amir Muhammad the killer of Biggie, or was it Poochie, Suge Knight's boy, as Greg Kading claims?
Like I said before, you know, the LAPD never showed me a picture of Amir Muhammad. The first time I seen that picture is when Nick Bloomfield showed me that picture. You understand? And I placed him on the scene. He was the guy who walked up to Puff's car. You understand? And I told you, and I told the FBI, I told the LAPD how, you know, what I did to get him off of Puff's car. You understand? And he looked at me and he walked away. Now, I didn't know the Muslim guy was the shooter, Big, the guy was dressed as a Muslim, the shooter Big, until the next morning when, you know, Lil C's and Paul, and we, you know, me and Paul was talking, and Lil C's and said, yo, the dude who shot Big had was dressed like a Nation of Islam. He was a Muslim guy. And I said he had the blue suit, white shirt, blue bow tie, the peanut looking head. He said, yeah, how you know, Gene? I said, that nigga walked up to Puff car first. You understand? If that's the same dude, he walked up to Puff car first. I could put him there at the scene, because I know he walked up to me, and I'm not the only one who knows that. The LAPD, and I said this before, and listen, if I say anything different, I could be held accountable for, because I lied to a federal agent. It would be saying I lied to a federal agent if I said anything different. LAPD showed me a picture of me, Puff, and the guy in the suit. But what they did was they smeared off the face. So I couldn't really see his face because they had like a shadow on his face. And they told me they was gonna bring me back out to LA, you understand, to, you know, do a lineup, or they was gonna come back out here with a better picture. I didn't hear from the LAPD after that until we did a deposition with Ms. Wallace when she was doing a lawsuit. Next.
He also wants to know, did Puffy or anybody from Bad Boy put up a bounty for Death Row Chains?
Nah, man. You know, I never heard of it. You know why? For what? They gonna melt them down? You understand? Sell them? Pawn them? Nah. Puff ain't that type of dude to do nothing like that. You know what I'm saying?
Ed off of Facebook wants to know, in Nick Bloomfield's Biggie and Tupac documentary, the guy Gene picked out of the lineup, Harry Billups, has somewhat been proven innocent. Can you please clear that up for us? Was Big going to leave Bad Boy?
All right, the first one, if somebody picked anyone out from a picture, you understand, and they say it's a witness to somebody at a murder scene, how could you be cleared if the witness never saw you in the lineup, or the witness or the people who said that you was there never had a chance to see you? What did you prove, and how did you prove that you wasn't there? From my understanding, he was never brought or even questioned behind it. I don't know if Big was gonna leave Bad Boy. I knew Big was having his own company with but I don't know if he was leaving Bad Boy. I can't answer that.
Tony on Facebook writes in, did you hear or know if Key Phoebe's claims that they were offered money to hit Pac by Puff were true?
Nah, I can't say that it was true or false because I wasn't there, and I was never there for Key Phoebe and Puff to have any kind of conversation. You know, when I was there and Key Phoebe was in our presence, we was gambling, having fun. That was it.
Frank on Facebook wants to know, where did the person that told you they were gunning for Big that night get his information from?
He's from out there in Cali. But Big ain't the only person that, my man Jay, he wasn't the only person who told me. It was a couple other people that told me. And why wouldn't you know that? You understand? We knew something was gonna happen, coming out to Cali. You had, being from the street or knowing anything about the streets, something is gonna happen. Any and everybody knew that. The newspaper was printing it. The newspaper was printing East Coast, West Coast, war, this battle and all this other shit like that. The guys on the street was talking, you hear people booing you or cheering, you get it from both ends. And then if you know anything about the streets, how you not know that somebody's gonna get you. And then I had a dude from the federal penitentiary call me and tell me to vest up. That was in my documentary. You understand? And this dude got kingpin charges. And he was a good friend of mine. You understand? And me and him go way back from the time where, he had a situation, an issue with Dougie Fresh. If you listen to Dougie Fresh's song, you understand? Ayo, alright. He said, enough respect for 112, enough respect for the Mecca Audio crew. 112 is my people, you understand? And Mecca Audio was my man, Unique's people. You understand? I held a meeting between them two, you understand, to solve some issues that they had, and they had everything straight from there. And Dougie Fresh blessed us by putting both of our crews in that song.
Brian on Facebook, why do you think Lucy and Junior Mafia act like you weren't around when Big got hit? Did Puff C or D-Rock try to reach out to you after you released the documentary?
Well, not after I released the documentary, because Lil C's couldn't have never act like I wasn't there. And I don't know where they got that from, because I just seen Lil C's in Aruba this summer. And he was like, yo, Gene, grabbing me and said, yo, Gene, maybe you could tell me something. Come on, stop it, Lil C's. You know, you understand? I'm right there looking you in your face. I'm right there telling you. So Lil C's or nobody could not tell them. And I'm sure D-Rock could tell anybody if he's ever questioned about it. Before we left Andre Harrell's house, I told him the dudes would come and kill us tonight. You understand? No ifs, ands, and buts are supposed about that. You understand? So, and then I tried to reach out with D-Rock a couple of times, and I understand, that's Big's man, and he has to let certain things go. And I feel him, and I understand that, as one man another. He's down with Puff. He had to let certain things go. So, and I feel him, go ahead with your life. But I tried to talk to him, prior to putting this out. You understand? I want all us to sit down and have a conversation, that we never even had. You understand what I'm saying? They know of the situations that I went through. You know what I'm saying? I went through hearings and all this other bullshit. Nobody put up a dime for me, brother. I came up with that $92,000 myself. You understand? Nobody put up a dime for me for nothing. You understand? So I reached out to D-Rock before. Me and Puff, we stayed cool up until 2004. You understand? I went back to Bad Boy. We was all at Justin's at the Super Bowl in Atlanta. I think it was in '99. Puff like, yo, Gene. Wolf say, yo, Gene, come in. What's up, Wolf? He said, yo, Puff, yo, bring Gene back. And this was in '90. I wasn't fucking with them for 2 years after Big Death. I went back in '99 and worked up until 2004. But it was a whole different situation. You understand? It was, I had Puff on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. You understand? And that was it. It was a whole different type of situation. So, you know, it was what it is. It wasn't no animosity, no thing about, you know, I hate him. He was like a little nephew for me, you know. But, you know, I did some things showing my honor to him, but he never did. He never, you know, he never gave that back. You understand? So it is what it is.
Brianna on Facebook writes in, do you think there will ever be justice for Big and Pac? Since you came out with your story, have the police contacted you?
Do I ever think it would be justice? I think that we downplay as a people justice for ourselves. You understand? The reason Big didn't get the justice, and people don't understand this, and they may not understand this, Big didn't get his justice because there were certain parties that played a part of Big losing his life. And it would have cost LA and LA community a lot of money. The city of LA, Los Angeles, was a lot of money. So they had to come up with these stories to try to say that the LAPD or people who was working with the LAPD was not working with Suge and them, that probably helped the demise of Big go down. You understand? They had, what happened to Big was a plan out, not a regular type of street justice. You understand? It was something that was planned. It was something that someone in law enforcement, you understand, got the bullets, got, set up the plan, and maybe even did it themselves. Somebody who knew somebody and knew what to do and how to do it. You understand? But on the end with Puff, they met somebody in law enforcement. So that first shooter could have been coming to get Puff. That's what I was told. But because, I did what I did to him, Big was a sacrificial lamb. You understand? Because had Big and them ran that light like we ran it, it'd have been another time.
Jamarcus writes in, what was Biggie's reaction when he heard Tupac was shot and killed?
From what I know, and this was when I spoke to Big afterwards, and we was doing his video, Hypnotizing, I asked him about it. He was telling me how Lil C's crashed the car. They got smoked up and Lil C's crashed the car, and he almost went through the window. You understand? He was fucked up behind Pac dying. I don't think that kid ever wanted Pac to lose his, or anything to happen to Pac or anybody from one of them. He wasn't that type of kid, man. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see him as that type of brother.
Jonathan writes in your opinion, did Puff have something to do with Pac's death?
Nah, I think the Pac death happened just as it was. The thing about it is sometimes you're going to get blamed for shit by the company you keep. You understand? And because those dudes was around us, because we had some affiliation with some dudes who was Crips and everything from out that way, some of those dudes was around us. So I guess because of the company you keep.
This is a three-part question. How come DJ Quik wasn't questioned? How come the ambulance never came? How come the LAPD cop that was with you didn't know where the hospital was?
The first one, DJ Quik wasn't questioned. As far as I know, the investigation was they was looking for him for a long time, and I guess he was hiding out or whatever like that. I can't ask you why the LAPD didn't do a lot of shit that they were supposed to do. You understand? But the statement I made back in 96, 97, 99. I made those statements back again in 2004. I'm making a statement now. You understand? DJ Quik said what he said. And if he didn't want nobody to know that he knew anything, he should have kept his motherfucking mouth closed. You understand? He shouldn't have said what he said. And like I said before, and I'll say it again, he said, I think they got one of them niggas. They said they was gonna get him. Now, why is you out in the middle of somebody just got shot? You don't know who got shot. But he's saying, I think they got them bad boy niggas. They said they was gonna get him. Why he say it? If he ain't had nothing to do with it, he ain't know nothing about it, you fronting? Because you said it. And he know he said it. But he just surprised and it was fucked up that somebody was right there and heard him. What was the other question?
Why didn't the cop that was with you guys know where the hospital was?
I can't say that. I don't know why. You know what I'm saying? All I know him, I know him from, I guess, that night, Inglewood police officer, and that's all I knew.
Did you see the new Biggie doc on A&E that came out on Labor Day? If so, what are your thoughts?
I didn't see the one that came out on Labor Day. I didn't see that one.
Then this is from a YouTube view. So Tretch was hanging with Tupac's enemy, known enemy, Key Phoebe.
I don't know if Key Phoebe was Tupac's known enemy. And Tretch, I ain't never seen him hang with nobody. I never even said Tretch hung with Key Phoebe or nothing like that. We was all gambling with that, and Tretch used to always come. We was on the road with them before. You understand, the Jodeci tour? Tretch and Puff used to always like to gamble. I don't care where they was at. The motherfuckers would get together, and Tretch would always have dice in his hand, or dice around him, or he'll get dice from somewhere, and he'll throw it down there. Come on, let's go. And he'll throw 10,000, 5,000 down on the floor, or 10,000, like, yo, Puff, let's go, one roll. And they like, yo, they do some dumb shit like whoever throw the highest hand or highest roll. You know what I'm saying? They win. And he was there gambling. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, he hanging with somebody. I didn't see him hanging with nobody. He was just that particular day gambling with the rest of us.
Nikki writes in, did you see Puff on the new Biggie documentary where Puff is saying he didn't want them going and that he wasn't worried because there weren't any threats or anything? I'm assuming he's referencing the A&E doc.
Puff don't believe that. See, people don't understand this, you know what I'm saying? Big is a high commodity. You understand? Big, if it's found that LAPD or some people in LAPD had something to do with it, they was working for Suge and killed them, and they could tie that to the officers like Russell Poole and some other investigations. It's an investigation that came out, and one of the persons said that Perez and whoever was else that was LAPD was at the scene of the shooting. You understand what I'm saying? So that was deemed to be truthful and found true. You understand? That people testified to that. You know, so now if LAPD or people who worked at the time was found negligence or involved in the killing of somebody who's worth millions and millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, they could be sued for that. You understand what I'm saying? So now you got to look at Puff. If Puff put Big in harm's way, you understand? If he put Big in harm's way and say, well, you know, I had some thought, I had some knowledge, you understand? Or, you know, you got to play dumb. Because now you done put your artist in harm's way, who's worth millions of dollars. So now his estate could come at you. Big album was finished. What the hell is he doing in LA when they know it's an East Coast, West Coast beef like that? And Pac just died. Come on, bruh. Are you serious? And if they allow him to do that and get away with that, I ain't got no problem with it. But you ain't gonna sit up here and tell me you didn't know. When I told you, your main man that you say you love pots and pans, Wolf told you. Wolf said, I ain't going because we ain't going out there right. Somebody ain't coming home. Wolf didn't go.
Alan off YouTube writes in, did Big have prior knowledge of the Quad Studio shooting?
I wouldn't know that. All I do know about that whole situation is, and I had a conversation with Big on this, is that Pac was dealing with some dudes, and people know this. You understand? This is shit that, you know, people know. Pac was dealing with some dudes that Big ain't want to have nothing to do with. And Big couldn't come and tell Pac, because Pac was the type of dude that he would have told the dudes what Big said. You understand? And I think he did the same thing about with Mike Tyson. You know, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know that to be sure myself. You understand? But I know this for a fact. Big felt if he told Pac about those dudes, Pac would have told him, then Big would have had a problem with him. And Big didn't want no problem with those cats like that. You understand? That was Pac's choice to hang with. You know, it's like a catch-22 for him. You understand? Yo, you my man. Yo, I want to say something. Then, you know, if I tell you, are you really my man if you running back telling them what I said?
And Sean off YouTube wants to know, was Haitian Jack extorting Puff?
I'm not even going to answer that, man. Because I don't know what they pegged Jack to be. You know what I'm saying? How could Wolf be a goon, but he letting Jack, you know what I'm saying, extort his man? How do that sound? You know what I mean? You know, nobody was extorting Puff. Puff ain't gonna let nobody take nothing from him like that. So, you know, that's bullshit. You could think what you want to think about him, but as far as taking his money and something like that, nah, he wasn't gonna let nobody take nothing from him. Extort him about what? If it's something, if he did, none of us knew about it.
Jerry from YouTube writes in, he wants to know, what are your thoughts on the recent Fox, Biggie and Tupac, who shot Biggie and Tupac short doc?
Well, exactly what it says who shot Biggie and Tupac. And that's what they went through. They went through the fact of who shot Biggie and Tupac. You know, they did what they said that they was gonna do. It wasn't no elaborate thing where they was gonna, you know, praise Pac, praise Big. They went through who shot them and how they got shot. That was the name of the thing. When they asked me to come out, I hadn't even finished. I had just finished Raw Deal 2, the second installment, when they called me to come out, you know, to come out to Cali and do that part. And all they wanted me to do is to show them how Big got shot. I don't have a problem doing that. I've been talking about it. I've been, you know, doing my thing about that from day one. And if somebody called me again and want to know how Big got shot, I'll be there. I don't have a problem with it. You understand? I don't have a problem telling what I know. You understand, about the whole situation. So now, when you got the information, and you could question when somebody get up and say, oh, I didn't know we was gonna do that. Nah, what you call said he was there and he told you. How you didn't know? You got the information now. So what Big and I mean what that documentary or that series did, that picture did was it showed you who shot Tupac. The name of the thing was Who Shot Tupac and Big, right? They showed you how Pac got shot. You understand? It couldn't have been that bad. It was 2.8 million views. You understand? So they did what they set out to do. They didn't put in people, and there's a lot of shit. It was like 4 hours. This would have been a 4-hour series, and more people were supposed to be involved in that, and they cut out a lot of people. You understand? For whatever reason, I don't know. That's not for me to determine. But what happens is this. When you go in front of these cameras for these production companies and you sign that piece of paper, these producers are able to put it like they want to. Like, they try to make you think like 23 of us left from the thing together. But when you watch my documentary, you know 23 of us went to the door, 11 of us only left together. You understand? So they put that where they wanted to and how they wanted to. I have nothing to do with that. You know, I may have said some things that legally, that they lawyers didn't want to get involved with a suit with Puff or whatever, Bad Boy, this, that, and other, and they left that out. But if you go to the YouTube and see what I said, you will understand all of it. So it's a couple of things that I didn't know, that when I saw that, I said, oh shit. That tribunal that they said they had, and the investigators and officers who was in jail with the other people, and they said they was at the scene and everything like that. I never heard that before, that they had that investigation going on. So it's like this, bro. They could go through centuries and decades and talk about who killed Kennedy. Where's the body of Hoffman? You understand? But when we start talking about our own people that we admired, Pac, Big, people that was influencing the culture, the hip hop culture at the time, there's a problem. You know, these people making problems with people talking about them or saying what they want to say. You know, it's going to be a lot of things written and talked about these people. Life, death, music. You understand? Anything that keep their name in our mind, in our mouth, and in our heart, good or bad, they still there. We're still thinking about it. They still live on in some kind of way. You understand? I think that they did what they set out to do. They said they were going to show who shot Big, shot Pac. They showed what they knew and what they found out and investigated. So when these cats is looking at you or trying to tell you, you know what I'm saying, trying to tell you, you know, what you can do, what you shouldn't do, how you should get your money, how you shouldn't get your money. You know what I'm saying? I grew up on that old school code, man. Listen here, there's two things you don't tell a man. You know what I'm saying? That's how to spend his money and fuck his wife. I don't get involved in that. You understand? So my whole thing about this is this. You know, when you looking to see what I'm doing, my name is all in your mouth, you talking about me, you know what I'm saying? You watching me, you know, step up your watch game when you're doing it.